Hey, we hear y'all, man. First off, thank you guys so much, for pulling up to our first open house, man. Thank y'all again, all the clients, the friends, the family, man. So I just want to clap to y'all, give y'all a round of applause.
Give it up.
That's right. Nothing, man, without y'all. Red Pill, much love, brother. Pulling up short notice. King Simon as well. I appreciate y'all both greatly.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. During this time, we had the Dog Days of the Summer. Album just dropped too for the dogs.
Oh, congratulations!
So King Simon, right, from
Yes, sir.
Numerology, Numerovation as well.
Yes,
what
sir.
can we study for what's up to come during this time of seasons changing?
Good.
Draco stars, all of that to now going into the fall.
Well, what I've learned over years, people, first of all, you got to know that numerology just means the study of numbers and the patterns, cycles, and sequences of what we go through, not only in our personal life, but what the world is going through if they're still adhering to the Gregorian number system. But if you're in Ethiopia, you pay attention to the Ethiopian number system. Or if you're Jewish, think about this. Jews also pay attention to their Jewish calendar as well as give unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, and they give unto the Lord what is the Lord. So they go to work on every day and go and pay attention to 2023 also, although they have a 5,000 year to 6,000 year calendar. And because we're all resonating with that energy, remember 2023 is a 7, but right now we're in the sneak peek months of what's to come for next year. So end of September going into October, then November, December, there is a peak of what in all of our lives, what's coming and what's also in America's life as far as what's going on with them. And we're going into an 8 personal year cycle. 8 is an ancestral number, like the number 7 is an old soul number of research, law of attraction, and not chasing money, but attracting money. It's just like going to an Invest Fest and you just meet somebody, all of a sudden, you attract the energy of the people that you want to attract. And then if you attract that energy in the 8-year cycle, it might turn out to be good because you laid out your blueprint for where you need to go in an 8-year. But remember, everybody has their own personal cycle when you add the month that you're born, with the day that you're born, with the personal year, the year that we're in, then you equate to something that's different for your own self. Like I am in a number 1 personal year going into a number 2 personal year in 2024. So the 8-year cycle definitely deals with loss or gain because 8, all even numbers in the study of numbers, deals with either the loss of something or the gain of something. Loss of money, loss of health, gain of health. Loss of your mind or gain of your mind. So there are going to be a lot of people losing their mind depending on if they allow the triggers of what America and the society is trying to do through the vibration of war and all that kind of stuff. I just try to tell people, keep your vibrations high. Even when they go low, you stay high. Because at the end of the day, it's just them fighting amongst each other. It's not even really about us, although we are the sheeple that follows them. We just got to learn to understand the mathematics, understand the astrology, understand the cardology of it all. And remember, these are all our sciences. It's white folks that usurped it and took it and claimed that it's theirs. But every time I look into any of their books, you got to remember, they always say, oh, it comes from Kemet. It comes from Chaldea. These are darker hued people.
Yeah, they just cold wording
it. They just cold wording it. And they create all of divisions amongst us. So next year, definitely invest properly, learn about trust like we've been doing, like going to Earn Your Leisure and studying what Red and Blue been doing and all, of course what my brother's been presenting, and even what Kaba Kamene, who he wrote that book there on Leo Hansberry, is also investing in solar energy, understanding what are some of the natural things that you need to get into. Now, if you're not disciplined, then things can happen. Because everything has a duality. There's no good or bad number. There's cycles, patterns, and sequences. And if you haven't disciplined yourself to handle the next pattern or the next sequences, then okay, you're going to get the lower frequency of it instead of the higher frequency. Or you might be complacent. And complacent, we all know, comfort is the enemy of progress. That's right. Period. So if you're born January 6th, this is what you're supposed to do.
That.
Oh yeah, and your queen is born March 21st.
That's
I remember this is my man. He's November 14th. So once you tell me your birthday, I'm like boom, 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 bap, because these are people and you're people that I'm concerned with because y'all introduced me to you. And so numbers start to come like this. You know, if I'm engaged with you, then I'm going to engage with you in as far as conversation, and you tell me your birthday, it usually stays with me better than your name, to tell you the truth. The only reason, better, his name stayed with me because my great-grandfather was named Caleb, you know what I'm saying, from out of Cuba. So that's the only reason his name stayed with me. So, but it's interesting. So as far as universally, the number 8-year cycle is a money and power frequency, but it also says tap into your ancestors. Know your pedigree. Know who you are. And know your connection to how you can attract more finance, because finance is just energy. That's all it is. It's called currency. And the word money adds up to 22 in the Chaldean system. It's a master number 22. And like Reverend Ike said back in the day, it's feminine. Because it's energetic, it's energy. So you got to pay attention. 22 is a feminine, the number 2 is a feminine number, and 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 is a feminine number. So as we're going into this cycle, just make sure you lay the foundation for whatever trust, whatever legacy you're going to have. Because these cycles come back around, but you either could spiral up or spiral down. It's up to you, or you could stay in a linear thing. But it's all about spiraling up to be your greatest and why. That's why I do numerovation, and I don't just do numerology, because any application of numbers in any way is numerology. It's the study of numbers. So if you're doing analytics, that's studying numbers. If you're looking at your watch, that's study of numbers. If you're looking at money, that's a study of numbers. They just want to separate everything. When it's just, and no, that word was coined by a doctor named Dr. Stanton back in 1907, but if you look at books like Africa Speak, which was written by Claudia Velasquez, it shows you that we've been studying patterns, cycles, and sequences for thousands and thousands, damn near almost millions of years. We've understand cycles. That's what the procession is all about. 26,000-year procession. Talking about the different ages. That's our ancestors been studying this for years. So don't run from it. And don't let people tell you it's a demon thing. Oh, it's the devil. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. Who created the devil according to your Bible? Then if God created that devil, did he know the knowledge that the devil would have, or is it about your intentions? Because you could either use numerology for negativity or you could use it for positivity. That's what Aleister Crowley did. That's what Blavatsky did. They did it for negativity. That's why they got P.B. Randolph, Pascal Beverly Randolph out of here.
They got him by there.
That's where they got that Dr. Strange energy from. Dr. Strange looked just like P.B. Randolph. If you look at, and it was the first African-American metaphysics teacher. His birthday is 2 days from now, October 8th. Elijah Muhammad's birthday is tomorrow, and Elijah Muhammad, who's the one who said, mathematics is Islam, Islam is mathematics, it stands true, and can be proven at any given a time for you to secure some luxury, money, good homes, friendship, in all walks of life. That's what Elijah Muhammad said. Right. So he understood mathematics because all of us are walking and living math, like Narubi Sela said in her song back in the day. We are all marking math. 5 fingers here, 5 fingers there. We got 32 teeth. We got 2 nose, 2 not 2 eyes. We walk in math.
Right.
And I got a book called From 1 to 0, and written by a French guy. It was translated to English. I study this stuff. I really get in. And in the book it says, they ask the question, does animals count? Does animals count? Now, if you ever studied the Nature Channel, if they know all the cubs they have, and if one is out of the way and disappeared, they'd be like this. What?
Right.
Where's the other cub? They know the amount of cubs that they have.
Right, they count.
They are a counter, but they're paying attention again, instinctively paying attention to cycles. I know I veered off from what you asked me, but my mind started going. I'm going.
Good.
You know, but
You're
let me reel it back in.
Yes, sir.
Because we're in the age of what they call Aquarius, misnomered Aquarius. In Kemet, will be called Happy, and according to the certain calendars. But in the age of that vibration, we got to learn to pay attention to the rebel thoughts in our minds and make sure that we're a rebel for a cause and not just for any bull crap. And be a rebel for a cause without pause. So that's why all of the young brothers and sisters, they are stepping out and owning their own, wanting to buy property, doing for themselves and all that. This is a rebel energy. This is like Bob Marley coming back out of people. Because he's Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? So once you pay attention to the rebel energy, rebel means be the solution, but be rebellious against the norm that they've been teaching.
Right.
This is the age that we need to do it. And the age is going to last for what, 2100 years? We might not even be here, but what are you going to teach your babies? And your baby's going to carry it along because they're here to destroy too. If it's not working, it got to go.
That's right.
That's how this vibration is working mathematically, astrologically, cardology-wise, cosmophysics-wise, Ifa, Akan, I don't care what you're using. Once you have numbers and names and words, you can connect the dots and see how the mathematics work and use it for the benefit.
Come on, King Simon.
I'm just,
That's
hey,
right,
this is family here.
Hey, we here. We chilling.
It's a family.
We
you know.
chilling. Red.
Go ahead, Red.
You and Blue, you know, hearing y'all always talk about like the state of the culture right now. Right now, you know, of course, we can talk about Drake was supposed to be big three, part of the GOATs for like my generation, I would say.
Yeah, of course.
Walked around with the dog mask. I saw y'all when y'all already like went in, like, yo, we already told y'all with the dog days.
That's right.
Right now with hip hop, our state of culture, how do you feel about it right now?
It's in a dismal state. You know, to be honest with you, if we were to be honest with ourselves, especially those of us who, you know, maintain the longevity of the 50. You know, I'm almost touching 50, so
I'm 56.
I'm able to. Yeah,
Still
I'm
young,
able.
y'all still
That's what
young.
I'm saying. I'm able to look at it in a more nuanced way than people who were born in it. I wasn't born in hip hop. When I was born, hip hop wasn't a thing. It was budding. You know, it was sprouting, but it wasn't in our house. It wasn't in society like that. It belonged to us. It belonged to the hood. It always was with us in the hood. It always came with us, but it wasn't what is known as today. Like y'all were born and your parents was listening to hip hop. We wasn't born with our parents listening to hip hop. We was born listening to R&B, jazz, blues, rock and roll, everything that came on the radio. Michael Jackson, Cyndi Lauper, Prince. We had a rainbow, a spectrum of musical taste. This is my generation that runs the game right now. Y'all don't run the game. Y'all run the game, but y'all bosses come from my generation. You feel me? Drake and them, they got they got OGs like Jay Prince and them running shit. Migos and them got QP and they got OGs like Coach K running them. They're not, as we see with the lawsuits and everything, they don't call the shots. Somebody's calling the shots and they are the talent.
Right.
And younger generations don't understand the difference between management and talent. Y'all don't run, you know what I mean? They don't run it, you know what I mean? They get into it, but Baby runs the game from Cash Money. Him and Slim, you know what I mean? Him and Slim run this shit. Not Drake, not Nicki, not Wayne. As you can see, Wayne don't got power. The big homies, the hands behind this shit, come from a certain generation. That generation was compromised during the 80s with the crack game. Crack game turned people who were living in straight poverty. Don't let nobody lie to you. Rats, roaches, food stamps, pissy beds, sharing clothes, holes in a sneaker. I don't give a fuck how swagged out, how many girls. A lot of people went through what is known as the struggle. There wasn't credit cards back then. You couldn't just pull money out the bank. Yeah, there wasn't him 500. They wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't none of that. So however you got it is how you got it. And then crack came and it collapsed the nation of what we know as Black people. Because once again, I have a distinction of being there when it was a little brighter outside and then when it got darker. People who were born into it, they don't have a point of reference. Hollywood is lying to you. The TV shows and all of that shit, the sitcoms, they're lying to you. They're not giving you the right depiction. So once again, we have a whole generation that has grown up in cartoon land and fantasy land because you were not given the direct depiction of the age that you was not a part of. They never told a correct coming of age story of hip hop. Crush Groove is not it. Electric Boogie and all, none of that. B Street, none of that is the right story. The Warriors, Boys and none of these is all Hollywood. the people who imprinted what a gangster or a gangster is, they had SAG cards, and y'all thought that they was gangsters because they called it gangster rap, and you thought that they was gangster because they was gangbangers, and that's not where we come from. We're not cut from that cloth. If we cut from a cloth, it's called gangsters. Like the ones like the Haitian Jacks, the Jimmy Henchmans, the this Vaughn Zips, and the on the west side there was probably other people out there too. But gang banging and gangsterism is two completely different things. Two completely different things. Gangsters, and I'm not co-signing it, but I'm just giving you a heads up to what the hell the difference would be. Gangsters don't rap. Don't know how to rap. Don't give a fuck about rapper. Don't hate it rappers. New Jack City, when they show you my dude Nino Brown, and when he come in the club and Flavor Flav and all of them running up to him, that's what it was like. They looked up to the drug dealers and the real gangsters because the real gangsters were more like a Bumpy Johnson. They weren't gangbangers. Gangbangers don't have money like that. Gangbangers are not locked in like that. Gangbangers don't even have a rule book. They do anything. Gangsters had what they call rules, the same rules that everybody be like, there's no more rules. What happened? Because they took the gangsters out and they sent them into the mountains. They sat them niggas down. They gave them 50, 40, 30. They're coming home now doing podcasts. Mecca Audio and all of them. Those are gangsters. You feel me? They existed in a day and time where the Italian mafia, not the cartel, the Italian mafia was running things, and they will whack you if you showed any type of signs of what gangbangers show, like thirstiness, you killing people that you're not supposed, all of that stuff, that'll get your shit pushed back. So they walked a certain line because they came from the era of Bumpy Johnson. Rich and Poe, Al Poe didn't rap. Rich Porter didn't rap. None of them niggas rap. All of the gangsters that went out of town to sell crack, none of them rap. Wu-Tang rap, because they not gangsters. And they was allowed to rap. And other people in the neighborhood, like in Queens, they was allowed to rap. Henceforth, the big headbutt between 50 Cent and Supreme. I'm gangster, you a rapper. You bow down, I don't. He changed everything. I'm not bowing down to the gangsters, right? Fuck you niggas, you kill me. And he got killed, came back. Homicide, the man that shot him. Gangster, it's Mike Tyson's hitter. These is gangsters, right? So there was a discrepancy when, once again, people in Hollywood with SAG cards, you know what a SAG card is? Screen Actor Guild. Actors started rapping. Right? Screen actors, right? Rapper. How you can be a gangster with a SAG card? Jimmy Henchman didn't have a SAG card. Vaughn Zip, they didn't want to be in front of the camera. They're not for the camera. The gangster, you heard about Haitian Jack more than you saw him. You just started seeing him because of the internet. You didn't see these people. The dude that shot Tupac, King Tutton, you don't have pictures of them. You know what I mean? These were because they was out there really putting down work. They was the ones outside the Source of War that robbed all the gangsters. Robbed all the rappers in 95. Killer Ben didn't rap. The real 50 Cent didn't rap. 50 Cent rap. So what happened in the marriage between gangbangers on the West Coast, they crossed the line and they made gangbangers rap. That's Eazy-E. Because none of those other members were gangbangers. You know what I mean? They was not thorough like that. CB4 is about Ice Cube. And I don't mean to be so brutal with it, but you just got to tell the truth. So a lot of the lies and the falsehoods and the perceptions that people have, it has to be dissipated because the spell is thick. So if the OGs is not telling the real truth, then y'all not getting it. You still getting a lie. So if people could listen to us talk about aliens and predict calamities and predict all kind of things, why, what's so hard about this culture? This really a lie. Let's tell the truth. That's my thing. So when that happened, when Eazy-E started rapping, and when gangbangers got into the business side, and when the small hats had, because in order for that to happen, there had to be some type of deal being made between shadowy figures with other shadowy figures. So the shadowy figures inside of the music business would be the Jimmy Iovine's and the people who got mob ties and whatnot. And they went in, they got into bed with people who are not as gangster as the gangsters that they used to deal with. They was dealing with people who, when Keefy D talked about Puff Daddy, P. Diddy and them, he said that that Diddy was paying them with tour tickets. So if I'm moving weight and I'm a gangster, you can't pay me in tour tickets, my nigga. That's thirsty activity. Can't pay me in tour tickets. Like, you got to pay me. I'm extorting you. You got to pay me real money. But you could pay people who don't really got much going with tour tickets. And when they started making those movies and when they exported a lifestyle that was relegated to an area, right? We don't gangbang where I'm from. We got gangs and crews and posses. We do what we do. But we're not gangbangers. Nothing to take away from anything what people be doing. But that was that coast over there. When they got commercialized by Hollywood and when they got commercialized by SAG actors and whatnot, and when they got commercialized by Jerry Heller, Jimmy Iovine, and other people who saw the worth in that, and then that letter that came out in 1991 about the secret meeting with hip hop, where they were gonna kill conscious rap and then tip the scales with gangster rap, right? It's really, you can't define what gangster rap is, because once again, gangsters don't rap. You can't name a real gangster with their fucking record deal. You know what I mean? Coogee Rap and Schoolie D is an exception, but they're the exception to the rule. Back then it was about fun. It was about consciousness. It was about street shit. It was about niggas getting money and throwing bricks and doing all of that. But there was a balance. And on their albums, they would always give you 4 or 5 tracks of balance, some type of consciousness. You feel me? So we're living in the fallouts with the Sexy Reds of what Luke and them brought. We living in the fallouts of all of the drill rappers. That's what motherfucking MWA and them brought. We live in the fallout of all of these things. Nothing that exists right now did not happen. Nothing that happened. It was like, damn, I was sleeping through that. I didn't see it coming. Everything that's going down in the culture that will be considered to be an imbalance and whatnot has its roots and its beginnings, like in the 90s. P. Diddy is the face of a lot of fuckery. You feel me? He kind of ushered in the money over everything mentality. Tupac was fighting against that. If you listen to the interviews, he was like, we can't allow this nigga to prosper because he's going to usher in materialism over what the fuck I'm trying to do, which is revolutionary. So once they got Pac the fuck up out of there, you never really heard. He was the last stalwart. He was the last holdout of melanated men that had the audacity to call themselves God. Even the neo soul shit is watered down. That shit is woke. That's not conscious. That's not awakened. All of that Mos Def, shout out to them, Common and all of that. That was the watered down, safe, woke version of what they knocked out with King Asiatic, Nobody Equal, Knowledge Reigns Supreme over nearly everyone. You know, Brand Nubians. You know, the hardcore Malachi Z. York, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Father Allah. They came from that camp, and they wasn't asking for nobody's permission to do none of it. They was gangsters and they was rapping. Not gangsters like gangster, but they came out of gang land. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. We got to make these distinctions. Now everybody is whatever they want to be. There's no rules. There's no goddamn there's nothing there's no code of conduct. There's no reward. Once again, 50 years later, niggas is still broke, poor, fucked up. You can't wake up right now being melanated and go get to $1 million. I just came from a trade show in Georgia Congress Center. They had every single store in the world. The shit, what was the name of that? It's $1,000 a ticket, right? They were selling gas stations in there. I don't think people understand what I'm saying. There wasn't no rinky-dink shit either. They were selling EV stations, electronic vehicles for your Tesla. Like, you could have swiped right there. I seen it was over at 1:30. That goes to show you that it was money in the building. I seen millions of dollars made before noon, bro. This is the type of thing that's going on right underneath our nose, and we still going in a circle, and poverty is real. It's millions of people in jail right now. It's millions of people. All of these hoods and whatnot, nobody owns that shit. All of them blocks that people spill blood for, nobody owns that. There's no development in Atlanta going down with fucking Young Jeezy and them behind it, with their name on those. I read all of the buildings and it's none of their names. So they're not redeveloping the same city that they broke down. They fucked up the value of the cities that they're in. Memphis rappers did it. Houston rappers did it. Brooklyn rappers did it. Drill rappers did it. All Chicago rappers did it. I went to Chicago. Chicago's a beautiful city. Chicago's lit. Chicago got a fucking beach. I never knew that. Chicago got a skyline. I thought Chicago was Detroit. I really did. I was fucked up when I was in the downtown spinning like I was on Google Maps. Like, where's the gangsters at? Where's the killings? It's a beautiful place. So the perception of our culture is skewered. We tend to, want to be the face of dysfunction and poverty. And that's coming from a place of lack. We've been lied to by our elders and our OGs. We've been basically hoodwinked by the rap industry. Because if they really loved us, them niggas would be Bitcoin rich. I know, I'm dead ass serious. They would have been ahead of everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the same rooms that they're in, talking to the same white people that they talk to. How they didn't hear the same thing I heard. You know what I mean? I was in a meeting in 2012. I was at J Records in 2007 when the white boy was talking about Bitcoin and the paper came out in 2008. I heard him. How the rappers don't know none of this. How the rappers are not investing in technology. How the rappers are not sending people to school with $1 million grants. How the rappers don't got 100 grants available. Like, you know what? These people threw this shit at me. I'm going to bring it to y'all. They still giving out book bags. So what I'm saying is 50 years later, we should all be up and we should have trillionaires or more than 10 to 20 billionaires. If they was really touching that paper like they say, if they was really not getting a fraction of a penny off of every album, they still getting raped. They still getting jerked by the contracts. They still don't have the rights to their names and their faces. There's still no union, right? Nigga, MC Shan don't got his jibs. I'm not fucking with hip hop. They're failing their creators. It's a pimp whole industry, and the people who are pimping our people are billionaires off of this shit, living comfortably. They building cul-de-sacs and societies. The whole Israel got built up off our back. Yeah, so I ain't jacking it. You know what I mean? I would be a fool if I was to sit here and start, romanticizing and giving hip hop all of this fake accolades. When to be honest with you, and remember, hip hop is 5 pillars, not rap. It's dancing. It's the master of the ceremony. It's the DJ. It's the graffiti, the art, and it's the consciousness. We not leveling up. We don't have gallery shows off of our artwork. We not bodying the dancing shit. They got fucking Dancing with Stars and all of this dumb shit, giving everybody, everybody got rhythm now, right? We not bodying the DJ shit. We don't get the top dollars for playing no type of shows. It's 10 of them that don't look like us that's ahead of us, right? And we not ahead when it comes to the masters of the ceremony. The bar got low, the bar got lowered so low that a fucking, Tom and Jerry, the little mouse hole, that's the bar now. That's the hole. When the shit used to be like the Grand Canyon, it was a door in the middle of the mountain. When Rakim was rapping, I remember when Biggie and Pac died, everybody wanted to be a rapper. Why? Because the fucking towers fell. Like in the movies, the medieval, the castle got breached. So now everybody comfortable. You can't make lame niggas comfortable just doing anything. That's why you have to implement rules. You got to you got to build a fucking fence. You know what I mean? You have to rank and file. People have to know their place. So when there's disorder, there's chaos. And that's where we are right now, in a very beautiful, beautiful dark fantasy. But because chaos creates magic, right? And after chaos is order, but this whole shit is chaotic right now.
Heavy. In closing, King Simon,
Yes, sir.
it's cuffing season. You know, you hear about men going against women, women going against men. You got the manosphere, no pun intended, the red pill community, red pill community as well.
MGTOW and all of them. Yeah,
You
they're
already
all out
know.
there. Big up to
During this time, how can we use numerology? And, you know, in that same breath as well, you know, men, they can say, oh, she's a Cancer, so she'll work. Or she can say, oh, he's an Aries, it can work. So how can we use our signs and also our numbers as well?
And you know, thank you very much. That was very good because I grew up along that whole era watching that. This is one of my teacher's books, Lloyd Strayhorn, right? He coined astro-numerology. That's what he did. He blended the astrology with the numerology because you might have compatible signs, or you might have a person that might be Scorpion and then a Leo, and then people will say that's not compatible, but the numbers might be compatible. That's why you pulled into that person. Your name might be connected to a number that might. So he definitely wrote this is an old book. This is 1981. His book is now orange and smaller and thicker now, this same book. But it's called Numbers in You, just in case you want to get it on Amazon. But he's still around in his 70-something. He's the elder. And he's been, and I have to give that acknowledgement to him because what his dad said, who was an Aries man, he said, you know, men and women must be willing to acknowledge and give people their due. Give them their roses before they pass on. So I respect that. Right. Now, when it comes to relationship, in my book, numbers are simple, people are complicated. Very interesting, because Lloyd said, man, he wished he had this title. Because numbers are simple. 1 + 1 = 2. But if you have two people that might be born on the 1 and the other one born on the 1, if one wants to be arrogant and out of the order and the other one wants to be more communicative, then it won't work. And I have a section in the back of this book, is on Amazon, and thanks to Dr. Africa, who actually published this book before he passed on. He published 3 of my books, and it talks about how to compare the numbers and how they can work and how they won't work.
They said 1 + 1 = 3.
He said 1 + 1.
I mean, it cuts your wisdom.
It's all right. That's when you know when you deal with a relationship, but when you're dealing with the numbers, it's a different thing. When you deal with a relationship, that's another thing. But if people don't learn to understand the elements of the sign or the elements of the numbers and be willing to work, because the universe, all the elements works. Every element in the universe works, even in the ethers, which we call dark matter, it works. Right. So the only thing that don't make it work is our willpower and all the trauma and drama that we've incorporated and taken on from our parents or family, from our mind control from the past. Right. So now, how are you willing to work on a relationship? That's how it works, because right now it has become perverted and convoluted in these age since the 2000s, from 1999, from the time Prince sung that song. 1999, don't you want to go? No, I want to get the hell out of this. I got to get the hell out of this. Because now we're in the 2000s, and in numerology, in that study, in that science, the 2 is a curve on top and a line on the bottom. If you look on my book, front book, 2 is a curve on the top and a line on the bottom, which in flow line numerology, the curve represents feminine and the line represents masculine. So the line is supposed to support the feminine in this way, in this day and time, since the years of the 2000 came in. But now we're fighting with it. And so we're separating the line and the curve. Because in nature, or in mathematics, the line represents the linear or the phallic symbol of man or masculine, and the curve represents the feminine, because women deals with the curves. So once you understand the flow lines on top of the numbers, then you understand how we're supposed to flow naturally in the 2023 up to this day. Because right now we're 23 years in the 2000, quote unquote, Gregorian calendar. And now we're perverting a lot of, men want to be women, women want to be men. We fighting against women. Trannies are trying to beat down the real women. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. And it's getting overly emotional. You notice men got more emotional because men need healing too. We do. Because women have been going through it, and men have been going through it from another side. But remember, back in the day, a man born June the 26th, before he even got on radio, I was on radio. His name was Michael Baisden. I was on radio before Mike, Steve, all of them. I was doing radio in WWRL in New York City, 1600. And he wrote a book called Men Cry in the Dark. And we do. We cried in the shower, we cry, and we might come out to our woman, oh, now I got some soap in my eyes. but we crying because of the pain that we harbor from out there. And then when we come home, sometimes our sisters want to battle us in there, but what we need to do is have counseling. We forget that we need relationship counseling because that's one of the sciences that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said they took away from us. The science of mating, science of money, the science of finance, the science of building nations. So cohabitation. So if that's been taken away from us through the buck breaking and the slavery, numbers can be a very helpful tool. I tell people it's not the is all or be all. I tell people that this is just one of the armors you should put on so you learn how to navigate better. It's just like a GPS. You put in the right address, which is a number in a street, and it triangulates where you need to go. You might run into some obstruction. You might run into some police work. You might run into, but it's still giving you a guidance. But many of us use the GPS and already know our way home. And that's where our intuition is lacking because they've taken everything from inside of us and put it outside. Right. The TV, the house, the GPS. We used to be able to look at the sun and the moon. How many of us remember 10 to 20 phone numbers to this day? Oh, I still remember my grandmother's number. I still remember my mother's number. But I used to have a lot of numbers in my head. Many of us, because
contacts now.
Yeah, now we got to go into this. This is the new electrical Rolodex. Because we used to have Rolodex and all that. But our mind, we forgot how to use our mind and go back and mold the mind with the heart. Because why I know numbers and so proficient at it, because I'm always leaving my glass half full to learn more. I'm always studying. Right. I study people, I study patterns, I study Nipsey Hussle when he died. I studied the whole mathematics behind it. When things happen, I'm not a chaser of artists and entertainment, but when my spirit says go there, I guarantee you the numbers will confirm it. Right. Because numbers don't lie, people lie to themselves. That's one thing I remember. I realized this. So I tell all my clients when they book a session with me, I said, look, if you're not open to this, leave me alone. I'm one of them people. Right. I'll give you your money back. Go. Leave me alone. Because if you're not willing to put in the plurk, and plurk is something that me and Dr. B. Sirius came up, playing and working to be your best. Because we work, singing the song Rihanna gave us, but we don't realize that if you don't enjoy what you do, that work is not good for you. I got to enjoy what I do. I left corporate America in 2005, never looked back. Still been working for myself. Promoter, producer, I got the receipts of all the promotions I've done. And one book says, no promotion is bad promotion, just spell my name right. That's the name of the book. And that was coined by Frankie Crocker, that title. And Frankie Crocker was one of the greatest DJs out of New York City who started BLS and from WWRL. But why I'm saying that is because in this day and time, as we are, as men and women, if we don't learn to understand the masculine and feminine complement, don't call it opposition. White folks call it opposition. Yin and yang complements each other. They're not opposite of each other. When I do Tai Chi, it's not opposite. I'm doing earth and I'm doing sky. I'm doing everything. That's not opposition. It's complement. So men and women are supposed to complement each other, not just telling them how good it is. Complement the energy of who we are, the masculine and feminine, so we can spiral up to be our greatest self. Because when the two come together, like Etana says, when a man love a woman and a woman love a man, a Jaja blessing. It's Jaja blessing. It's God's blessing. It's the creative blessing when we love each other again. When we loved each other, we built the temple of Hatshepsut. That's right. When we loved each other, we built the pyramids. When we loved each other, we built Timbuktu. When we loved each other, what we building now? What we building? What have we built that can match Hatshepsut right now? That temple that can hold 30 Empire State Buildings.
Magic City.
Magic City? Ain't nothing magic about that because they're not even practice. They practice another kind of magic. Not the real magic, but when we practice real magic, we built an edifice that can hold 30 Empire State Buildings. That's power. That's magic. Original, not sleight of hand magic, because magic comes from magi's, and those are the alchemists that was able to turn little of nothing into something. We are magical people. Both man and woman have male as female in them. It's just that are we willing to complement so we can all do what our parts in this realm. So, family, brother, I'm proud of what you and your Empress is doing.
Appreciate
to
you.
what y'all doing, because 3 milli means expansion. Millions and millions of times, because 3 in numerology is the number of expansion, growth, and the need to be jovial and happy in what you do. And so when y'all two come together, when you and I'm showing you how I do it in numbers. When I'm just looking at their personal numbers, because he's born January 6th and the Empress is born March 21st. But if you add 21 plus the 6, that adds up to 27. And in numerology, the 27 is the number of creativity and productivity in order for you to reap the harvest. That's how y'all gonna work. And then it adds up to the 9. It says you need to reach international standards, because 9 is an international number if you finish what you start and keep on moving on a higher vibratory level. That's just the personal number. I ain't even add up their year number. I ain't even add up the month number. I'm just showing you that we can have fun with this and make sure I'm plurking. Having play and working at the same time. I'm plurking, not twerking. I'm plurking. I love what I do. Right, Red? It's what we do. But that's
Man, King Simon, I received that so much,
I
man.
receive both of y'all,
King Simon,
man.
Red Pill, I appreciate y'all greatly every single time.
Yes.
Every single one of y'all who pulled up tonight, I appreciate y'all as well, man.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tapping in. Look, that's another one, man.
Yeah.
Much love. Until next time, blessed be your host, Caleb Smith. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.